Some people were totally missed. It's okay. I got you. Okay, go ahead.
According to R.G. Collingsworth, a philosopher and writer, art is something that can affect you outside of the work. It teaches you about the world and it asks questions. Black Mirror talks about the use of technology and how it affects our world. At the Mountains of Madness discusses our place in the universe and what it means to be essentially insignificant in the face of the galaxy. Captain America discusses the legitimacy of punching Nazis. But at the end of the day, they all ask questions. So do games do this too? Are games art? In my opinion, without a doubt. The first game I brought with me is Bioshock. This game is a little bit of the Black Mirror type of style for art. It shows a world based on an ideology, and it lets you experience and explore it. Bioshock is a world based off of the teachings and the thoughts of Ayn Rand. Essentially, a philosophy based on independence, capitalism, and the free market. And Bioshock would be Ayn Rand's heaven. It is a world based completely off of these philosophies. Never says they're good or bad, but it lets you explore and see how the world works. One of the best examples of this in the game is a drug called plasmids. They're essentially drugs that give you superpowers, but with terrible, terrible side effects. When Andrew Ryan, the city's mayor, is asked about them, he responds with this: "There has been tremendous pressure to regulate this plasma business. There have been side effects, blindness, insanity, death. But what use is our ideology if we do not test it? The market does not respond like an infant, shrieking at the first sign of displeasure. The market is patient, and we must be too." Now, the world of Bioshock is incredibly broken, but it's based off of these philosophies. And it doesn't do anything except show them to you and ask you what you think of them. It lets you explore and think. But it doesn't distinctly ask you to make a choice, unlike my second game, Mass Effect. In Mass Effect, one of the last missions in the game is you're running through a level with the goal of destroying a sentient race of robots. Halfway through, you're given a second choice: reprogram them. Change them over to your side and your thinking forcibly. Now, on its base level, this seems like a pretty simple question. But if you give it a little bit more thought, you realize it's not asking you whether you want to reprogram some robots or kill them all. It's asking if you would rather enslave a race of sentient people or commit what's effectively genocide. The people that you're fighting in this level, they're robots, yes, but they're incredibly sentient. They have their own culture, thoughts, and beliefs. And it's asking you, the player, to decide if you want to enslave them, change their ideology forcibly to a point where, at the end of the day, if they met their old selves, they would fight each other, or it's better to kill them all. In this case, both choices are wrong. It makes you choose, at the end of the day, which is more important to you. So, games show you the world, they show you ideologies, and you have to make choices. But they also make comments on the real world. Final Fantasy, and the series as a whole, especially Final Fantasy X, comments on religion pretty excessively. In the game, the main antagonist is essentially the Pope. And his goal is to become a giant monster named Sin to destroy the world to stop all suffering. Because in his mind, if everyone's dead, no one can suffer. This isn't the best light to paint religion in. very negative view and thinking about what power religion has and what power it's given. It's commenting on how religion should be followed and treated, whether you agree with it or not. So why does this matter? Why does it matter if games considered art or not? This is a game called 6 Days in Fallujah. You probably don't know about it because it was never released. Fallujah was one of the most major battles in recent history, and especially against the War on Terror. But a lot of you probably don't know what it is. A couple Marines came to a studio called Atomic Games and asked them to make this game about this battle, to educate the world and show what happened, to tell their story. After this game was announced, it was met with widespread controversy, to the point where the publisher pulled out and the game was canceled, and the studio eventually shut down. People lost their jobs, their livelihoods, because games weren't given the respect they needed and the free speech that was required to tackle a heavy subject, to tackle something not everyone might be happy with, but at the end of the day, to create a work of art. Without the freedom of speech needed, without the respect that games need, they can't create works of art. They can't tackle heavy subjects. They can't discuss things that might not be pleasant to discuss, but need at the end of the day to be discussed. Games do a lot. There's plenty of pleasure, get out of here, escapism games. Those also exist in movies, books, and paintings. All of those, however, can still create works of art that educate, make you think. And games can too. Games need this respect. They need this free speech, or else they won't be able to do the things